Hey guys, welcome to Clockwork Noodles for your last episode of Undead Girl Murder Farce. This is episode number 13, a great number for us to end on, and what a fantastic wrap up. I'm actually really impressed, and I'm also going to give myself a pat on the back. One of my early theories had half of the actual culprit and the switcheroo thing going on. I then got so overwhelmed with the new plot, and I just thought, you know what, don't know what's going on, there's too much going on, and I abandoned my original line because I actually thought I had it at one point. And I was so close. I actually did have the culprit nailed at one point because I did say in, I think, when they first arrived, I was mentioning Juk could still be alive and I bet it was her for revenge. Obviously, the motivation's wrong, but I wasn't too far out. So I want to give myself a pat on the back, say this is perhaps the closest in all of the cases that we've had that I've come to having it nailed. I'm proud of myself. It's been one hell of an episode and one hell of a season. This is the last breakdown, so I get to give you my final score at the end of the episode and my final thoughts. Make sure you guys are tuned in. Tomorrow my end of season review is going up. I've already done it, it's scheduled, I already knew what was going to happen. You guys are going to have a chance to see what I decided was my top 3 anime of the season. I can't wait to see what you guys think. Before we get going, make sure you guys are subscribed one final time. After tomorrow's video I will be on my break at the end of the season. We normally do a flip over. Normally I bring out games, but this time I think I'm actually just going to go radio silent for about 9 days, just because I feel like I need it. I think it's been a very quiet season. Numbers freezing up has kind of made me a little bit sad, so I'm going to go away, regroup and get ready for the new season. But it's not forever, so do make sure you are hitting the bell notification just so you know when the new season is going to air. I think my first video will go up on October the 7th. So let's break it down. I called it Frankenstein the Decent because in every single bit of material depicting Frankenstein, he always had the human heart, always shown in a way that he just wanted to be loved. He'd been made this monster and people feared him. Happy to see that they actually used him in that sense for this plot, because it's thanks to him that we actually get to see Team Royce finally getting a bit of comeuppance, because I do not like Team Royce. Suguru tries to help. I really enjoyed seeing the two work together, and the fact that Frankenstein gives us some information that help. I did like the intro. I thought it was a little bit confusing at first. I was a bit confused. I thought I had missed an episode. A lot of the big fights do kind of get a little bit skipped a bit, but it could be because this show probably doesn't have the biggest budget in the world, but it's not bad. At the same time, I really like the cut. Aleister Crowley really is just the most flashiest. I love the snapping and I love the ice. There's a lot of really nice cuts in the opening sequence. It's cool, it's fast. You get to see all of your mains squaring up with their opposite fights. The fights are really awesome. I think Frankenstein as well, the deal with him is really, really nice. Finding out that the body is in London. You're definitely keeping season 2 open on the cards because it does seem that we have to go back. If we're going back to London, it means that our boy Holmes is going to be maybe on the scene again. I do feel such a cool character that it would be a waste just to show him once. I want to believe that all of these characters are going to come back at some point. There's a lot of plot lines left open. Obviously, Shizuka versus Carmilla, definitely a plot line there because it ends again in the way that I predicted it would, because Carmilla's just better at this point, but one day she's going to come back. Hopefully we're keeping it open. I was pretty excited to see Alistair's little trick do some damage to Royce, but I was also quite gutted to see Aleister also taking some damage by Team Royce. He's a really cool character. I think in general I like his animation. I think he's one of the cooler animations. I like the way that he fights. I really do at some point want another Aleister versus Sherlock, so perhaps that's another one, because he does walk out of this season as well, so he's good. I did forget as well that Shizuka had no undies on. I can imagine Carmilla absolutely loved that, and it's quite a fun little fight, but it just doesn't feel like we've really leveled Shizuka up too much, and at the moment she's not leveled up enough to really take on Carmilla. And it's a great match. I like the effects with the fabric and then having the girls all flipping everything because the music kind of flips as well. Still not good enough to beat Camilla. One day maybe we will have that, but for now I think it's a good thing that we haven't beaten her and she's left her alive, which is nice of her to at least leave a opening there. At some point Shizuka's going to probably come in and actually win the fight, but it is very, very quick. We do have a lot of very quick trade-offs this week. The anime itself could have had a few more episodes, but I can imagine they didn't imagine it would be as good. Or to be fair, I don't know if the anime's been received very well. It's got a very high score on Mal, so I'm very happy about that. There's not enough people watching the show in general to maybe warrant them spending more money. So I just think in general people love mystery animes. I think mystery animes do very well, so I can believe that there's another one airing in the next season, which is The Range Detective. I'm very excited for it. Do I think the rest of the anime community is? Perhaps not. I know a few of you guys will. I think on my channel we do have a lot of mystery fans out there, which makes me very, very happy. And maybe that is actually my little niche, that we're very good at breaking down the mystery animes on the channel. The Crowley switch really confused me. I don't know who was on the floor. Maybe that's just his illusion. That's just how he is. But it was definitely somebody who didn't have the amazing facial hair that he did. Absolutely love that little feint because it actually allows Crowley to walk off. Do I think Team Royce is down? Probably not. I can't imagine she's going to go out just like that, but we will have to see. I just think in general, he's just a very suave character. And I think when you've got villains, you can just go the route of making them really, really bad and terrible. But you can also go down the route of giving them a bit of style, giving them a bit of character. And I think this show's done that quite well. Every one of the villains has their own personality, their own fight style. They've got their own motivations. And I think that makes them a lot more interesting to watch. Let's go into the breakdown of the case with Jut being the murderer. My very early prediction about the girls looking the same and doing the switch. With me, I said that they shared a father. That was never confirmed, but I said that there was a chance that they had done a switcheroonie. To mistake one of the girls for being the other girl, they had to look very much alike, so I think I got a bit too focused on genetics. It does seem that I wasn't too far out and both girls were technically involved. Jut was the murderer. She wanted revenge, but she also wanted to save people. The saving bit comes a little bit later, so we have Louise and Jut who did indeed look the same. Jut ends up taking Louise's place, so she ends up kidnapping Louise because she knows she looks like her and she can basically pull that one off. Aya breaks down the room breakdown, so she figured out that actually there's no way that a werewolf could have come in. There was also dubious footprints by the chimneys. It was more that the wolf had broken out as opposed to breaking in, which is very, very clever. We also get a bit of a Alma twist that Alma actually did say that she had seen the change because she hinted when she was painting Aya. Oh, but then a year ago she started to change because she was a completely different person. Maybe Alma actually noticed the change and they got rid of her twist. Obviously, we all figured that it wasn't Alma who had turned into a werewolf. She had been replaced before that, and then we had Jut came in and did the transformation, and then she also saved Shizuka to make sure that she could then find her again, because she is the first person to find Shizuka. So she finds Shizuka and then brings her to the village. Very clever game of switcheroo. Initially I was very confused, but now I actually think I get it because they break it down quite nicely. I do think it's one of the more smarter breakdowns for the reveal, and I'm very happy that they did it in a way that like this, because not all is as it seems. Initially we all think it's for revenge, initially what I think Aya might have been gunning for, but I think she also knew. Moriarty gave us the hint that there was the ultimate werewolf being created, but we didn't think anything of it because that was said by Moriarty. But it would seem that in the case of the werewolf, the kids going missing, said that the killer with that one was Louise, and then they said that the killer the other way around was Jut. Jut never died. They ended up teaming up for a little bit. She basically accepted her fate because she had called Jut out. She's like, fine, you know what, I deserve this. Sadly, at the end, she does actually end up killing her. She wanted to save the walls because of what was going on. She knew that she had to get out when she was 13. That's why Granny was really, really angry. She was upset that it was Nora in particular who had been murdered. But Granny ended up creating the ultimate werewolf. I think there's a lot going on with the Granny thing. Not much goes into that. Granny's also still alive, so it does feel like maybe she's actually a criminal in her own sense, and she does kind of get away with what she's doing, because I don't know if she's going to stop trying to do the breeding program. Nora was the ultimate werewolf, and you can see that Granny was actually happy to forgive her for murder and war because she's that important, because her program of building the ultimate werewolf was the most important thing to her, not really the people around her. Now, the fight underneath with Suguru is perhaps my favourite fight. I absolutely love the fact that this fight happens in the dark. We don't just get a blank screen, we actually do have something on the screen. I love the candle effect, I love the flare, I love the water reflection and having tons of the light going on. It's a really nice setting, it's a really nice composition. I love the fact that when the lights go out, Suguru glows blue, you get his colour and you get his line art going on. Love the line art, I think the line art is really, really cool, and just seeing the whites before Nora and then the blue for Suguru, then having the flashes, there's the lineup, then it's gone again, it's dark again, then there's flashes again. I thought it was really, really fascinating. It's really unique and it's a really nice take on a fight. If you don't have the biggest budget in the world and you do something like this, I think it works. I think this really works. I thought it was fascinating. I wasn't expecting the fight to happen in the darkness. In the end, he does manage to catch her. We then get that big old twist right at the end that Aya knew and had worked out that she was doing it for freedom. She was doing it to save the girls. She wanted them to get out and not just be used for breeding subjects. The realization right at the end actually came from Granny, who was calling her the ultimate werewolf, and then that's when she realized, actually, I had the motivation wrong. You are still the murderer, but you're murdering for a different reason. And Aya then lets her out. I like the line that she sympathizes with girls in cages. I really like that for some reason. The line really, really kind of resonated with me. Nora to run off into maybe the second season. Maybe we'll see her again. But I would like to say that all this time I said that I saw Nora on the poster, I was wrong. It was Nora, but it also was Jut. We literally had the culprit on the poster because Nora is in the bottom. Nora is Jut as her alias. The actual culprit was right in the bottom of this one, which I think is really, really cool. Aya being able to let her go, I think is really, really nice. But let's talk about the end segment. Yahoo off the mountain. Really nice one. It ties up all of your characters. You get to see everybody tied up together. Sherlock taking his tea, and I like that moment, of course. I think it is a very good ending. I think it's a very strong ending. I was a little bit worried that the ending may not be that good because I've been raving about this one for a little while now. And I do think this show has been so consistent. It's been very consistent. Every episode has been strong. There's been something really good about it. It hasn't got the highest budget in the world, but I think it's done amazing for what it is. Now let's talk about scores. When I first started watching it, episode number 1, I was panicking because it had a 7.2 and I was sad. And I was like, guys, it does not deserve a 7.2. Where did it end up on Mal? It ended up at 7.9, nearly into the 8s. I can live with that because I gave it an 8. My score, Mal's score, very, very close. I am very proud to say that this is one of those shows that I just figured would be really good for some reason, and I'm glad that I picked it to break down because I can imagine a few people slept on this show. Eyes on another show next season, which I am breaking down on the channel again, so make sure you check out the overview just to see what shows are coming your way, because 3 more shows are coming your way. I've really enjoyed this. I like the little Easter eggs. I do regret that it's only 13 episodes. I think it could have done with maybe a bit more. Maybe we could have had a bit more into it, but it's pretty fast paced. I really like how each of the cases have built something. I really can't wait to let you guys go into tomorrow's video and see what I've done, because I can say Undead Girl is definitely in the awards. Go check out what awards I've given out because you may be surprised. Without spoiling tomorrow's video, I'm going to leave it off here. Thank you guys for tuning in every single week. You guys have been amazing. I didn't expect too much from it, and it ended up giving more than I thought. Going in with no expectations, coming out with a really high result has really paid off. So thank you guys so much. I really hope you've enjoyed this season. I hope I see you next season, and thank you for your support. I've had so much fun. Bye bye, guys.